Hi guys, Adam here. I'm with Steve. We're outside Old Trafford. May as well be raining. 1-1 against Liverpool. We're out of the Europa League. Season over, Steve?
No. Feels like it though, doesn't it? Did tell you it'd be 1-1 in the live. That teammate, do you know what? I woke up this morning and I was absolutely bouncing. Go check Daily. I was absolutely buzzing, mate. I woke up this morning, I was eating my breakfast, like humming and like proper excited, ready for this, getting here today, thinking, this is what we live for, innit? I live for United Liverpool and I live for games like this. And then I seen the team sheet and I just went, we're not winning this. And I'd have been happy winning and going out. Really happy winning and going out. Yeah, I really would have been happy with winning and going out. Not at all bothered about the Europa League. I do want to beat Liverpool at everything. I want to beat them at parking the car. I want to beat them at football matches. I want to beat them at everything. And we didn't beat them. Do you know what? If we talk and analyse the football, we started off quite well. And Fellaini, I'll have to give him his due, was very good. But he was deployed in the position that he's useful, which is hanging around the box, causing havoc. He wasn't deployed as a defensive
strange, isn't it?
midfielder.
Playing players where they're supposed to be played.
It's a novel idea. I don't think it'll take off. It's not gonna take off, is it? So Fellaini was playing all right, as we expected. Carrick got run around a little bit. Didn't have the pace, the energy, the engine to cope with what was needed. We played with risk in the first half. We played with passion. There was fight. There was proper Sunday League challenges going in. The crowd turned up. It was everything that we was hoping it would be, apart from
The result.
the quality wasn't there. There was chances we could have put away. There was opportunities we didn't take. There was a little bit of carelessness where we allowed Liverpool into it, but they got quality footballers on the pitch, so they was always going to do that. And I have to take my hat off to Coutinho. That was an unbelievable goal. What can you do about that?
Yeah.
Like that, I mean, fair play to him. It was a great goal. And what just kills me about it was the inevitability of the result. I knew it was coming. I didn't sit there thinking, we'll get back into this. And then the substitutions, I'm positive. I've not listened to all the fan cams that you've done with everyone, but I'm positive everyone slated the substitutions, and rightly so. If there was injuries, and what can you do? And it wouldn't surprise me if there was injuries. We've had one or two, haven't we, this season? We've had one or two, haven't we? Or 14, whatever, at the same time. So it wouldn't surprise me if there was injuries, but either way, I'd play rush keeper and put Memphis on. That game was crying out for Memphis today to come on and belong one in, wasn't it? Now, there was a little bit of talk from us at the start of the game when we got the team sheet that, are we resting players for Sunday? No, was the answer. So, now we go into Sunday. It's almost the last road of dice. The season isn't over. We've still got top four potential. And we've still got the FA Cup. And I, for one, would love if me and you was at Wembley in a few weeks for an FA Cup semi-final. Absolutely rocking. But I don't have the confidence that that's going to happen. I reckon what's more than likely is we go to Upton Park next week, we watch the same sort of thing, we go out on penalties or something.
Do you think then this is a big problem now, that Manchester United fans are beginning to expect, well, we're not expecting victories when we should be, and also, like the expectations drop so far that does it not then become a point where, hold on, we need to stop the rot ASAP, because one more year of this and we could be on the road to what Liverpool have been for the last 20 odd years.
It's never getting that bad, mate.
No, I know that, because we've got the stadium and we've got the money and we've got whatever in place, and of course at times Premier League, TV, whatever. But what we've got to look at is all the other teams in the Premier League are improving. You've got Leicester, if they win the league this year, they will then build on that. You've got Tottenham, who will build on that. Arsenal, who, if they get a new manager, you never know what might happen with them. Chelsea will be better. City will be better. But I'm not confident Manchester United will be better. And that's not only because of Louis van Gaal, but because of everything else that is in place at the club at the moment. And is that not a big worry for you as a Manchester United fan, that we could potentially become like that lot?
It's not going to happen the way it's happened for them lot, and we won't go a quarter of a century with it. We make far too much money. And as sad as it is, that plays a huge factor into how football clubs do. And it's a shame, because it should be on merit. It should be how it was. But I mean, Matt Busby was probably experiencing what we're experiencing, or potentially are going to start to experience, back in the 50s and 60s, if you read up on your history and you watch what happened in there, Matt Busby won, I think it was 6 or 7 titles in 20 odd years. He'd be sacked nowadays, wouldn't he? He has essentially done what Arsene Wenger's done, ish. Obviously, massively different circumstances, and the rebuilding that he had to do post-Munich and the European Cup and all the rest of it means that he is infinitely better than Arsene Wenger. But if you look at just league wins, there's parity, a little bit of parity with Arsene Wenger. And the reason for that wasn't because he was a poor manager, and it wasn't because a Ballon d'Or littered Manchester United side with George Best, Bobby Charlton, Dennis Law, Paddy Crerand, etc. was a poor side. It was because it was a very, very competitive league. And what we're seeing at the moment is for the last, basically since the Premier League started, you've had a top 4. And that top 4, for the most part, was Liverpool and Chelsea and United and Arsenal-ish. And then it sort of changed. Liverpool came out of it, City came into it, and it's sort of been the status quo for a while. Of late, what's happened is the top clubs have been all busy fighting each other and fighting Europe. We've not noticed that. I mean, Leicester have done it on the back of a brave season that I hope they could replicate, because it'd be great for football if they could. Tottenham have dived in there from being out of the top 4. West Ham have brought themselves up there with good manager and astute signings. So what was a top 4 lockout, and it was sort of boring, really, wasn't it? Arsenal shouldn't have been able to just coast into 4th every year for 18 years. That's pathetic. What we're seeing, instead of a top 4, it's becoming a top 6 and a top 7, and now Everton have just got crazy investment. That top 4 could soon become a top 8. And as grim as it is from a selfish point of view as United, that we're not guaranteed to be in the top 3 fighting and competing for titles every year, it's going to be harder for us. But even though we've got a really good side on a European level, we still might finish 5th in the Premier League. And half of me thinks, yeah, I like that. And the other half of me thinks, no, I don't like that. So I'm really conflicted about it. I think it's going to be a very interesting next 10 years.
Shows how important the next appointment is, and this decision that should have been made or hasn't been made or has been made for the summer needs to be made right, and the appointment needs to be right. Also, do you think to catch up with those teams, we'll wrap this up, sorry it's been going on a little bit, we need to appoint somebody above or alongside Ed Woodward who knows their football a bit more?
I've been saying it for months that I think if we're about to enter this period of being one of those European clubs that rotates through its manager every 3 to 5 years, then there has to be another guy that isn't going to be in and out of the team every 3 to 5 years. There has to be a guy that's looking at the overall plan. Like Bajiristan's done at Manchester City. They knew when Mancini was manager, they was going to have another manager and they was going to bring Pep Guardiola in. I don't think we're even planning what's happening next Wednesday here. And they knew 4 years in advance. So whatever we feel about Manchester City, and I'll talk about Manchester City as well, because we want to talk about the derby coming up. They have got plans in place, and whether I think Pep Guardiola is the right guy for them, or if I believe the hype around Pep Guardiola, they're doing what they believe to be right for the club. So hats off to City in one aspect.
Will the derby save our season, just before you go?
No, the derby ain't going to save our season. The derby has got the potential to put a bit of a smile on our faces going into the final period of the season. And what the derby is to Manchester United fans is, again, it's the old cliche in it, but it's bragging rights going into work on Monday morning. My nana's 70-odd-year-old, right? And she talks of football about me, or talks about football to me, pretty regular. But when the derby's on, I can't shut her up, mate. My 70-year-old nana lives for the derby as well. She is mental for it. And that, if I had to explain what the Manchester derby means to Mancunians, it's that. It's that when I go and see my nana, she's just like bending my ear off about the derby. And that is how much it means. The people of Manchester live for football. You know, all right, not many of them go to the boot camp. Most of them come here. But the people of Manchester care about football. This is the hotbed of football in this country. And the derby, we used to be fighting for the title between the two of us. Now we're fighting over 4th place.
Nice for bragging
Expectations
rights.
Have stripped. Potential bragging rights. Football's cyclical, innit? It changes. But the Manchester derby is always one of the biggest games of the season. There's 2 matches I look for in the season. It's Liverpool and it's Manchester City. And Sunday, I want to get some smiles on my face, because this coming out of here, I feel like a funeral here tonight, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.